The views, thoughts, and opinions on this podcast belong only to the hosts and the guests. They don't necessarily reflect any organization or sponsors connected to us. We aim to keep things accurate, but everything you hear is shared for information, conversation, and entertainment. We're going to dive into good laughs, tough talks, and that genuine feel that you came for. So get comfortable, relax into the vibe, and let the moment unfold. This is Keep It Clean. Lock in.
Because if that ain't saying it now, get you all yourself, then two, you're saying it now.
Is this needed? Is it acceptable? Does it change up everything? What's y'all thoughts? Did it make any sense? There's a game that's taking place. Yeah, that's taking place.
Tell me why I'm watching a game on ESPN. One of the banners in the background is YouTube TV for the game, but we can't even watch it. How does that make sense?
$20. I don't want no $20. I want the game.
Every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Keep It Clean Sports Show. I know y'all missed us. We're going to give y'all some live new heat. We have the March Madness tour coming up. We have more basketball. We have a whole bunch of sports that have been going on. It's your boy Bucket Hat Ray in the building. I'm happy to see y'all, my brothers. How goes it?
Doing good, man. Happy to be here. Happy to see both my guys here so we can get into it. Just blessed to be here. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
I second what Abe said. Just happy to be here.
That's it.
Just second what Abe said? Fair enough. Okay.
Man, we think alike.
That's it.
Well, you know where to find us at YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. We appreciate all the likes, comments, and subscribes. And for those, again, continuing on the sponsor tour, if you just feel like throwing the sponsor our way, today we're here with the Chicago White Sox and of course Nike. You know, we're just gonna keep throwing out options until you decide to stick with us. In the background, we got all the Marvel, DC. You can see the Nike all throughout Abe's background. Just know we got you somehow, some way. If you're a sports watcher, happen to watch Power Rangers, hey, let us know. You feel what I'm saying? Michigan, you're in need of new representation of clean folks. And we got two
it's
Michigan representatives right here. It's in
the name, bro.
Because Lord knows, y'all need some over there, bro. Oh my goodness, man. Well, like I was saying, man, what we have planned for today, and it sounds like it's going to be all basketball on basketball, from college to professionals, man, even men and women. Because the women, you know, they just went through the collective bargaining agreement, so we might have a little bit of discussion on that as well. Everything else is just going to be random strays at whoever we decide to shoot to mid-episode. You know us, shoot or shoot, and there's no such thing as a red light on this team. But highlights and bozos of the week, man. Who want to go first?
Go ahead, Jamel.
All right, thank you, Mr. Abe.
Mailman batting first. Okay. Lead off batter. I'm with it.
Hey, I'm gonna get on base. You can bring me in. My bozo of the day, Jaden Ivey. As a Bulls fan, it hurts that much more. A number 5 pick, he had so much potential, and then he ran his mouth. And I understand we're all supposed to have freedom of speech. But some things you got to keep to yourself. Social media is killing athletes right now. All right. Some things you just keep to yourself. If Jaden Ivey had been a big name, like if he was, not that LeBron would say some stuff, but if he were LeBron, he'd go on an apology tour and it'd be over with, a couple months, it'd be over with. They might bring it up a little bit later, maybe. But Jaden Ivey, in the words of Draymond Green, they don't love you like that. All right, you ain't got it like that.
You thought you was Kobe?
All right, so the Bulls released him. Now, to the Bulls' credit, they did pay off his entire contract. To their credit, but I think it's going to be hard for a bust, because that's what he is at this point. It's going to be hard for him to get another job anywhere in the NBA.
Hard to argue that.
Now, my highlight is the American people, because we finally got rid of Pam Bondi. No, I'm just joking. I'm going to keep it with sports. My highlight is Shohei Ohtani, and I was stuck between Ohtani and Wemby, but because we rarely talk about baseball, I'm gonna show Ohtani some love. 11 pitchers have won the MVP and the Cy Young. He has an opportunity, even more so, to win both. He's already won the MVP. If he stays healthy, he can win the Cy Young as a pitcher, win the MVP as a hitter, or win both as a pitcher. He just pitched his first game, 1 hit, no runs, 6 innings. His team won 4-1. This dude is just, he's something we've never seen before. Anytime someone brings up Babe Ruth, I'm like, look, you talk about don't live in the past. Babe Ruth has been surpassed by so many hitters. I don't think he could legitimately put up the same numbers today. Like back then they had a slow pitch and a slower pitch, and that was it. Now they have everything, fastballs, curveballs, sinkers. It's some of everything. But Ohtani can not only throw those same pitches, but he can hit them too. Ohtani is just a different animal altogether. And I look forward to the end of his career, actually, to seeing what his numbers are, both as a pitcher and as a hitter. But that's it for me, sir.
Fair enough, man. I had 2 comments on both years. First of all, Jordan Ivey, you forgot you were in the NBA. NFL, you get that off. You were in the NFL, man. What I told you yesterday, Jamel, if you were in the NFL, you'd be on the Chiefs right now. You would be signed. If you put on some shoulder pads, you 6'4", run some routes, because you said you was just in the wrong league, my guy. You was just in the wrong league.
Was it Dante Stallworth who hit that woman with the car?
Yeah.
And paid the family. He was like spending that season and came back.
Henry Ruggs is available as of August of 2026. Henry Ruggs is available. Look, man, Jordan Ivey's situation is so bad. They made Trayvon Henderson. He forgot that he crossed over into the wrong Twitter sphere. You should have stayed with the NFL. Now you out here sending apologies, man. There's someone right now that said all women should be in the kitchen and shouldn't get education. That is playing as
and he's still kicking.
And it's still kicking, bro.
He didn't miss a game
at all.
He didn't miss a, he got a new contract. He didn't miss a game.
You know how many NFL players have charges right now as we speak, bro? Yeah,
we
man.
talking about the Chiefs alone. I mean, we still waiting to see what happens with Rice.
Right, man. You got someone that was a punter before he was a running back, depending on wherever he was on the field, playing with Kareem Hunt. Now, look, wrong sport. To your second piece, Babe Ruth. Man, Babe Ruth's cigars would be lit by the pitchers that they throw in the day. That's how fast they move. I don't think nobody had no 90-plus heater coming down the middle during his time frame. There's nothing to really prove it, but I don't think they was just doing that in the early 1900s. There was no slide. There's no curve. There's no sinker, bro.
If they did have a pitcher who could throw 90, 95, 100 miles an hour, excuse me, it's probably 1 or 2 in the league, tops. You know, we didn't hear about numbers like that until like Bob Gibson. You know, because catchers are talking about how they would have to change gloves in the middle of the game because their hand hurt so bad from Bob Gibson pitching. So,
I just can't picture that before Tommy John surgery. We had pitchers launching it that hard because you essentially sacrifice your arm. They would have told us about armless pitchers because they didn't know throwing that hard was just going to destroy, you feel me, all the ligaments and bones. So, but Babe, is he a better hitter than Hank Aaron? Barry? Yeah.
Based off average, he is. You know what? I'm going to say yes, he is a better hitter than Hank Aaron. Based off his numbers, he is. Hank Aaron had more longevity. But, Babe Ruth would also smoke a cigar in the dugout. He'd drink a gallon of beer and eat a whole pizza right before the game. So it's different back then.
Yeah.
Okay. Abe, who you got?
Man, I'm actually kind of intrigued by the Shohei, the Ohtani take there because I mean the man's a cyborg. We know that. I'm just waiting for them to show us how they repaired his arm because it wasn't the Tommy John, surgery. It was them taking him to the back and making sure all the components were tied up because it just doesn't seem right. It gets to a point where you're almost just like, do we crown him now or do we just wait? Because for him to play both sides of the ball and to be that dominant on both sides of that's crazy. But My two takes for today, my bozo, I'm gonna just start it off real quick, is gonna be the women's NCAA Syracuse coach. She got on the interview after the game by getting tramped by UConn, and had a few words to say about how even when she was in a different team, she got matched up with Geno, and that there might be a chance that, there's some bad blood with the committee and why she keeps getting matched up with Geno. This isn't the NBA. You don't get the 16 teams that you've seen all season. You get whoever they put in your bracket, and guess what? You have to play them. Whether you play UConn now or in 2 more games, you're going to get killed by UConn. And there's no question about that. So I understand you're frustrated because Geno's got your number, and every time you see him, he's got that smug little grin on his face, and he's just sitting back like this watching the game because he doesn't have to coach, because all of his girls are 5-star, and they've been 5-star since they were 11. Like, I understand it's not fair. UConn basketball for women has been the top for forever. So let's not act as if like this is a team that they just threw together from NIL and they just got all this money. Geno was recruiting and doing this before NIL, and now he really gets to maintain it because of NIL. So please, I implore you, don't do this no more. We don't care. If you know anything about the NCAA committee, they change hands every 4 to 5 years. So the people that you think have a vendetta against you aren't even there anymore, fam. They don't even know who you are. They just put your team in the bracket. So to get up there and to be crying about it, I feel for you. If I had to get my butt kicked by the same team over and over and over again, I'd be mad too. But to go on a microphone and be like, y'all got something against me, cut it out. Okay, just bananas.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's not like, to your point, most people that have we'll say, average knowledge of college women's basketball know 2 things at this point. Caitlin Clark and UConn basketball for women, bro. This man has been on a generational run. You didn't not know about him before the Final Four or before the tournament. You knew about him all summer. He is your white boogeyman. He is creating nightmares, and most people, and most coaches, only other people that we've seen keep up with him. And when I say keep up, that could be a loosely based term. We just have at least enough of a powerhouse to be worth talking about. Rest in peace, Pat Summitt with Tennessee, right? Made it competitive. And then the head coach of South Carolina, because they're just black UConn.
Don,
essentially, right?
Yeah.
Everybody
and
else.
Don just came around. Like she hasn't been coaching for that long. She's had success and sustained success since she's been there, but like she hasn't been around that long. So Geno is literally the greatest women's college coach of all time.
He might be the greatest women's coach, period, of all time.
He might be. The fact that we're sitting here, like you said, for the common knowledge people of like women's basketball, we know it's not spread across the world. We know that there are certain areas that it doesn't touch, but it is a world sport, right? So we're sitting here, we're looking at the situation like this. Geno, just like Dylon, it's Geno, fam. So like I understand you're mad because he doesn't have to coach half the time, but he's still there. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
And she's upset, but Geno does this not just to her, but to everyone.
To everybody.
Everybody.
He sees victims anytime he looks at the court. That's all.
Because you know what UConn did after that? They went and beat UNC 63-42. Okay, and then after that, they went and they beat Notre Dame 70-52. You're just one of the teams in their way. That's it.
Before they beat you, they beat UTSA 90-52. Look, they see
you're just one in the way. I'm sorry. When it comes to women's basketball, we're looking at the Final Four. Guess what ranks they are? 1, 1, 1, and 1. You didn't have a shot.
That is the other piece too. You saying this as if there was just some miraculous way, if you were in another bracket, South Carolina wasn't going to slap you across the face, that the current Texas team that I've been seeing beat down people wasn't going to smack you across the face.
UCLA Twin Towers wasn't going to kill you. Like, what are we talking about?
Like, and with all due respect, because I did pay attention to a decent amount of games, and when I'm comparing them to teams that aren't even number one, I don't think they should have been playing UConn to begin with, because we saw how the refs handled their Iowa State game. It was very evident. That this is one of the few games in both tournaments that I really sat there and I was like, no, the refs have full dictation of this game. You know,
you're not beating Michigan. You're not beating TCU. Like, you're not beating Duke. You're not beating LSU. You're not beating Notre Dame. So, like, where do you fall in the spectrum of, like, this is unfair? It's just an unfortunate situation, but it is what it is.
Look, man, unfortunate. Ev, you came in right in the homie Ev then joined the show. We doing a highlight and bozos of the week for sports. Jamel had the highlight of Shohei Ohtani, the bozo of Jordan Ivey.
Jaden
Ivey. I got all the wrong J's. And so far, for Abe's bozo, we talking about the Syracuse women's coach that went up there and said, man, you know, if you would have put me in another bracket.
Oh, yeah.
You would have got smacked anywhere else. I mean, the top 4 teams are literally still right here in the Final Four. So whether you was going to get smacked here or here, there were so many other teams outside of those top 4 you still would have got beat by. So there's really no point in the conversation.
For reference, every Elite 8 game that led to the Final Four, realistically, the only one that wasn't under 20 is UCLA and Duke. And it really should have been 20. Every other game was a 20-point win or more. I don't know who.
And that's at the Elite 8, because you know before that they were smacking the team before that by 40. So like you're just killing the margin a little bit. That's all we talking about. And
mind you, the Elite 8s that are there, the lowest seed was 6. I'm looking at a number 3, a number 2, another number 3. They was getting smacked. Okay, man. Who's your highlight? What you got for a highlight of the week?
So my highlight of the week is probably not going to surprise anybody, but Michigan men's basketball team has been the only team in March Madness who has been handling their business, and not by one possession, not by 4 points. They have been handling their business every step of the way. We are here to the Final Four, and they have literally done exactly what you wanted them to do. They look like the strongest team in the tournament right now. So the fact that, you know, we have to worry about all this backlash because, you know, Duke lost to UConn and all that, we'll definitely get to that conversation. But, like, everything about this has led up until the Final Four. Michigan has skated through all of their opponents, all of them. There's not a single team that gave us a scare. So I'm just like, please continue this success because I want to hang up a banner and I want to be annoying as possible. So please, help me. Yeah, please help me be the worst that I can possibly be because I am ready. It was back in 2018 when I was sitting in a bar trying to watch the game for us to win a championship. It didn't happen. If I can get to the point now where I can watch it at home and be a jerk online and everywhere else that I need to be, that's what I would love to do. So please carry out the mission, take care of it. Duke and the ref's whistle ain't there, so let's get it done.
I want you people at home to know how bad Abe needs this. In 2018, Abe didn't just go to bars. That wasn't an Abe thing. This is in the soul. Abe wasn't a bar frequenter. Anytime Abe and I would go out, we had 4 pairs of clothes in the car because there was always some security guard that had something to stop us from going inside religiously. They would look at Abe and see the threat, do the math in their head and say, nah, I can't handle that. And the next thing you know, he can't get in the car.
See, and that used to piss me off more than anything. Ev, literally, we saw a dude, they were talking about people's shoes when they were walking in, right? Like, you couldn't have, like, tennis shoes, sneakers on, right? I think I had on some, like, maybe at that time,
you had some
like
high-top Vans.
Yeah, it might have been some Vans or something, right? I come walk in, dude in front of us had on an all red high top Van. And I come in, I've got like a little low profile shoe or whatever. He's like, nah, man, those are sneakers. I'm like, my man just walked in with some red Vans, and they just kind of looked at me like.
Remember the homie next to Red Vans? He had the Concords. He had the Jordan 11 Concords on. They were right there. They just made it through security. You could see them.
Now, mind you, both of them different race, about 5'8", you know what I'm saying? So they just skated right on in. I walk up 6'7", you know, and they're like, nah, have a good day. Have a good day. Police officer standing right here. I'm like,
they knew they couldn't take you.
Yeah, he was like, nah. The police officer gave him a nod like,
security guard was like 5'4" himself.
Like, this is crazy, bro.
Preventative measures.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, Ev, do you have a bozo? Do you have a highlight sport? Anything
yes. So
okay.
My bozo of the week is Bam Adebayo.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because he went on to an interview yesterday or the day before saying because of the 83-point game, teams have to guard him differently now. And he's going in there and he was like, man, because I might shoot, they see me making 7 threes in a game now. You got to guard me at that perimeter.
7 for 22?
Like, come on, bro. That's one thing. And then it's like, you're never scoring like more than 40 again. Like, Bam, you don't realize you are the self-check for yourself.
You're the e-check.
Like, so it's just and this is the problem with this whole 83 thing is that like now people got to be realistic. Like, bro, you have the worst efficiency in doing so. So lower that big head that you got. It took you played against the worst team in the world, and it took you putting up the most shots ever to even get to that niggas have took to get those amount of points. It was an ugly effort. So that's my bozo. My highlight of I would say it's my time to a bozo again as well is Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is my all-time favorite NBA player. And so seeing this past week with Pat Bev having this James Harden, Dwayne Wade conversation and seeing a lot of people actually come up and like say, Pat Bev, calm down a little bit, which is making people kind of go back and do the knowledge and do the history of what Dwayne Wade was doing and the reality of, and again, not what ifs or anything, but yeah, he wasn't even 100% healthy day one in the NBA to a degree. And so it's like what he did and for his time, I just feel like a lot of people are now starting to give him a little bit more respect over this past week. So I just that's the big highlight for me. It's like, I'm excited about that. He's getting a little bit more respect over this past week that I've seen. So that's my highlight right there.
Fair enough.
Pat is on a legendary run right now because he got kicked off his own show. So he got something for everybody.
Wait, slow down, man. Because Pat Bev, oddly enough, is my bozo of the week for some of the points that you make, right?
My bad.
Okay.
For me, I don't necessarily mind when there's clear chases for content creation, hot topic issues. I will tune in to Gil's podcast every now and then because I know shenanigans are afoot, right? I'm okay to put myself in that mind. I may not get the most accurate sports feedback, but there's going to be a laugh, right? And there's many people that are out there like that. There's rare platforms where I'm just like a hard no. Emmanuel Acho, he's one of those. You should be bozo of the week, but you just have a history of doing that. So I'm gonna let you do exactly what you did. Pat Bev, I get the clickbait. I just don't like the way you're going on your rebrand tour. You could have kept this one in the tuck. Paul Pierce already dominated Dwayne Wade and LeBron James alleyway. Like, this isn't even original. You was just throwing something out there. So it was a tough loss. We saw your podcast get fully colonized in real time. I hate that for you. Genuinely. They appropriated it's not even the same name. It went from Pat Bev's podcast to Hooping and Hollering. We haven't seen a theft like that on that level, that clean in a long time.
Not broad daylight.
Jason Williams was never a defender, and he took your cookies.
Yeah.
Crazy work, right? you could have, well, depending on how that interaction went, I feel like you could have called Gil to get your feet back wet. Could have sat up there for a couple episodes. You could have hit up Dwight Howard. You could have hit up you could have joined in on the Rashad McCants shenanigans and went over to kick it with Raymond Felton and all of them just real quick, because you did kind of spark that whole conversation that they're having. You was around that time frame when you went to the platform and called out Rashad. We remember that. Cool. Then to throw your homie under the bus. Ev and I watch battle rap. We're familiar with Rome, right? He always had a clean reputation in the battle rap community.
Mm-hmm.
He just had a new child. You have a history of getting handsy, and even though you beat the charges, it is still kind of crazy. So for you to just go and throw him out under the bus to get that traction, I'm not a fan of the bozo activities to get the content. You could have did something else. But good luck to you, because you are lying about this Dwayne Wade take. It's horrendous. I didn't even know if it was worth our time to talk about, but it's a horrendous take. My highlight of the week is Kirk Cousins, because you and Tobias Harris agents are godsends. We've never seen angels like this before. Continuous guaranteed contracts for a team that, oddly enough, you might actually start for. Tom Brady over here making jokes talking about, yeah, I talked to people, should I come back? You're still doing it low key. He's had the most under the radar career we might have seen at the quarterback level. Do any of y'all have Kirk Cousins in your top, I don't know, 50 QBs of all time?
No.
Okay. Does he crack 100? And I know that sounds like a stretch, but do you? Thank you.
Maybe.
Because if you were really dedicated to it, you might be able to kind of list, okay, fantasy football highlight every single year matches his career path. You just keep landing here. How do you do this? Falcons are paying you, guaranteed contract with the Raiders, and you just get to go be what Phillip Rivers wishes he was. Definite highlight of the week.
Yeah. Tobias and Kirk need to just, at the end of their career, give their agent a good little chunk.
Yep.
Generational bag getters.
Because every 4 years we talk about Tobias pops up with another $100 million, and he'll go play anywhere. So that I will give to Tobias, because he will literally go play anywhere. And as far as Kirk goes, hey man, how you come off an ACL and get 180? We need to know what's going on here at your age too. Be different if he was 24 and he was like, doing Joe Burrow numbers. This man had a torn ACL and was what, 34? 35?
It wasn't the ACL,
what are we
the
doing?
Achilles. That's even worse,
man.
Achilles?
It was
the Achilles.
Even worse.
Man,
exactly.
Okay. I want to go ahead and save this topic now. Y'all start prepping for it. Biggest thieves in sports history. If we were to try to create a Mount Rushmore or a personal top 5, because these two should be in this conversation. John Wall's there, Chandler Parsons, and Jamel. Who's the homie that got paid for 30 years I think it was from the Mets?
Bobby Bonilla.
He's solidified number one for me. I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm gonna be real, because I already when we was talking about Kirk Cousins, Sam Bradford is at the top of that list. And that's me as a Rams fan. You got to think the rookie contract rule changed because of his ass that last year. He got $50 million guaranteed, and then after the ACL tears, he still, after the Eagles year, he was with the Eagles when we swapped with Nick Foles, and he had a good breakout year. He started getting the $20 million bag, and he got it for like 5 to 6 years from different teams. He's a generational bag getter too.
See, okay,
and he tricked a lot of people too.
We're gonna have a great conversation. This is a good topic. Yeah, we
before we bring up anyone, we're gonna have this conversation later.
But for sure. For sure. Because that way we can get some research done. Because I got a few names on the.
Because he got the pen and paper.
He's ready.
Jamel got the pen. Jamel got the pen and paper. All right, man. Well, like we told y'all, we going over all basketball. Y'all want to just go ahead and start with college?
Yep.
Women's games are tonight, Final Four.
Yep.
Like we said earlier, 4 number ones. 4 number ones. Which game? Which game y'all want to start with?
Well, interesting enough, I would start with South Carolina and UConn. I think that is actually going to be the winner of the national championship. So I'm hedging bets on UConn right now, FUD is just ridiculous. And the whole core just every time you see them, everything is clicking. Everything is clicking. So if I was to put my money on anybody, and I don't gamble, so please don't look back and be like, Abe told me to put it all on. Disclaimer, didn't do it. I would go UConn, and then if we're talking Texas, UCLA, I like UCLA.
I'm hoping for the upset of UConn because
Okay.
I'm always going to support Coach Don. Realistically, they're on the 55 game winning streak, and they've just been demolishing people, man. Demolishing people. But South Carolina is coming off of a 20-point game against a pretty solid TCU team. I think a lot of these women's teams are solid, but they have been just as consistent in this tournament as everything UConn has done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jamel turned off the tournament because of the first game. He said it himself. After a 103-34 win, I can understand where you don't see nobody else on that side of the bracket. Then you came back with another 101-point game against a USC team that has future WNBA stars that we're all going to be excited to watch, right? Then you came back with a 94-point game. You are putting the ball in the basket against good teams. I'm going with Coach Don for the upset. On the other side, I'm with you. I got Texas over UCLA myself. I think Texas has been rounding this corner of getting ready to show up on the women's side for the last 2 or 3 years, and they're finally there. UCLA, we'll see you next year. We'll see you next year. That's how I feel.
Isn't there being the team to win the championship? You're finally there. You've won it because they're not going to beat South Carolina or UConn.
That's why whoever wins that game wins the chip for sure.
I agree with Abe coming out between South Carolina and UConn. And we talk about Don Staley only because it's UConn. We talk about South Carolina like they're an underdog.
Yeah.
They have 3 losses. All right. UConn went undefeated. South Carolina has 3 losses.
Yeah.
They're damn near neck and neck. And we talked about how Geno has been just consistent the last 20 years. Don is on. She's not even on the come up anymore. She's up. She's up. She just hasn't been doing it as long as Geno. You know what? I don't even care who wins, man. I like watching teams dominate, so I like watching UConn dominate. But like Ray said, when Don was in college, I had a crush on her. All right, so I root for Don. I rooted for Don my whole life. All right, so I root for South Carolina. I'm gonna go with South Carolina. I'll take South Carolina. I'm going to take UCLA. I'm going to agree with my Michigan brother. I think UCLA is too big. They're too big for Texas. And they're just going to bully. Texas has been on the rise, but I don't think they're there yet.
And they got a bully in the post too, but I just don't think that they have enough like UCLA has.
Yeah, and I think UCLA's team is too big at every position. They're just too big.
This has nothing to do with Texas beating Michigan by 36 to get into the Final Four. I just want to clarify, just to make sure this isn't hate.
And you know what? That's why you're off the Christmas list. You have to bring it up.
I just want to make sure this has nothing to do with any of that. Okay.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Okay. Ev, you got an opinion at all?
Yeah. So I think with UConn and South Carolina, my heart wants to root for Don and South Carolina, but the truth is over there with Mr. Auriemma.
Yeah.
Because the thing is now, what I will say is that, of course, South Carolina's going to be the toughest defense that UConn will have faced this season. So, with that being said, I think UConn will win at least by 15, then 30 or 40. It'll be a 15-point margin.
Okay.
If it's a blowout type of thing, 15 is the max.
Okay.
So and that's where it's my fear is that my heart is with Don and with that team because they are, like you've been saying, they're a consistent stride as well. Mm-hmm. But it's levels.
I've been doing it just a little bit longer.
And that's
doing
the
this just a
thing.
little bit longer.
Like South Carolina gonna have to go into this game and be perfect.
Yeah.
And the problem is that the only problem with being perfect is they know that they're gonna be perfect too. So it's gonna have to be some trickery involved for you to, that's that next element there, and some hope and prayer, Hopefully, hopefully Jesus rises, and that's gonna be what it is, But
there'll definitely be some prayers going up,
for sure. So that's why.
Yeah.
But in reality, I think UConn's gonna win. It's gonna be a fantastic game. I think UConn's gonna win, and I think UCLA, Texas. I don't really have much about, but I'm gonna go with UCLA. I'm gonna agree with everything y'all said. I'm gonna go UCLA.
I said Texas for the record.
Well, you said Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna
okay.
go UCLA.
Okay.
I'm gonna go UCLA.
Good man.
Wait,
Good man.
UConn's toughest competition this year was number 6. They played in number 6, 72-69. That's the closest game that they've had all year.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina might, I didn't say the team's name because it then seem like I'm picking on them. So, but they played the number 6 team at the time.
Okay.
Right.
At that time.
I take it as the M.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on the other side, we could talk about the M's. Men's Final Four. It's tomorrow. Do y'all want to go ahead and get Michigan out of the way, or do you go with the other side?
Okay,
I'm not
I didn't
saying
like how you did
because
that.
the 2 number 1 seeds as opposed to a number 2 and a number 3.
Yeah, but just don't dismiss my team like that. You know what I'm saying? Like don't do our team like that. Just understand we're the number 1 team for a reason, and we've been handling business every single game up until this point. While everybody else has had to do a dogfight, we've just been cruising in the last 10 minutes of each game. So just saying.
Has Arizona been in a dogfight?
Yes.
They smoked Long Island, Utah State, they got comfortable. Arkansas, they split the game open with 10 minutes left. And then Purdue, same thing, with about 10 minutes left. It was looking different. Purdue's poor point guard did everything he could.
He tried.
Enough. He tried, bro.
He tried.
He played his heart out.
No, but you gotta give them credit. They definitely try to hang in there. But I mean, towards the end, when you're just knocking down free throws and stuff, there's just nothing you can do about it because you have to get a stop. Yes. And unfortunately, Bradley's great. Now, no disrespect to Arizona. Like, I'm not gonna do it like that. No disrespect to Arizona. They definitely have a very good team. Bradley is something dangerous when it comes to being a point guard. He's got size, he has strength, he has pace. He knows how to get his teammates open. He can go get you a bucket at any given time that he feels like it. So he is definitely something that I am concerned about on the defensive side. However, because of our size and our length, I don't really have a real scare in this game because of how we've handled each team up until this point. As long as we play our game and we don't get sped up by them, I think because we do get fast break points and everything else. I mean, Lindenborg is just he's dunking it whenever he feels like it on a fast break. 2 defenders in front of him or not. So I'm not really worried about that. Mara and the matchup between their big, I'm a little iffy on because he has more size, but Mara's better with the ball. We'll see how that kind of equals it out. But, of course, I still have Michigan winning the game. I don't see why we shouldn't. We have been the best team in this tournament. It's just what it is.
Arizona plays a college-style basketball. Michigan plays a pro-style basketball. They lead the tournament in assists, and they're up by 50 assists over every other team. It's because of the ball movement. They have such a NBA free-flowing open court offense. It's different from any other team. And I think they're going to catch Arizona off guard. I really do.
Yeah.
And Michigan plays hard-nosed defense. They're one of the better defensive teams in the Final Four also. They play hard-nosed defense with a free-flowing offense. I mean, I don't gamble on stuff like this for sure. But I would, again, a disclaimer, just like Abe said, don't be like, oh, the mailman said. No, I didn't. All right. What I'm saying is I think Michigan's going to roll by Arizona. I know it sounds crazy right now, but I think they're going to beat Arizona by at least 10.
And the thing that gets lost with Michigan is because our defense is so good, you know, they go, oh, but it's the offensive side. That's where they get you. We are the most unselfish team. We have a clear number one in Lindenborg, and we still share the ball as if everybody else has the same playing field.
And,
so the fact is,
we led the tournament in 3-point percentage also. That's a part of that ball movement. But I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I appreciate it. And all the rest of that too, it just shows that we have levels. And each one of those levels we can kind of step up into. It just creates a different ball game. So you might prepare for them to do this, and we just switch and do this. Like, it has literally been an adjustment period up until the halftime. Halftime comes, second half, we are a totally different team, and we take off every single time. It's a 10-0 stretch. It's a 12-0 stretch. It's, you know, something that gets real nasty real quick, and the other team has to try to make another adjustment. By that time, we're literally playing San Antonio Spurs basketball. We're just out there making it look easy. So if we continue to play like how we've been playing, I don't see Arizona as a problem. And that's not me being the Michigan guy or that. This is literally what we've seen on TV every week.
And, you know, we talk about, and that's coaching, because in-game adjustments, people don't understand that. When the game is close going into half, or when your team is down going into half, and the second half, which is when Michigan really does kick it into that next gear, why is Michigan on a 10-0 run? Why are they on a 15-5 run? Like, what's going on? It's because of coaching. They have such a good coach, and to that line of thinking, that's why I think UConn is going to be Illinois, because I think UConn just has a better coach.
Hurley is crazy.
I know he can run around headbutting refs, but I just think he's a better coach, and he's been here before. I mean, he's got one national championship or two. You know, so, and experience means something.
2 and 3 years.
You know what I'm saying?
So I think it's going to be Michigan and UConn, and I think Michigan's going to beat UConn. I don't think UConn has the offense to keep up with Michigan.
No.
Okay. Michigan and Arizona, I'm going to go with Michigan. I don't really know a lot about Arizona. I've been watching Michigan lately in this tournament, and they've been doing their thing, so I'm going to go with them. Illinois and UConn, I would pray for an Illinois upset, again, being the guy who's from, but they've had the weakest stretch, the weakest opponent run in the entire tournament.
Talk about it.
Like, and that's the truth. Like, Illinois has had the weakest run, and I think that's where, even with what you said, Jamil, with experience, that's what it's really gonna kick in, because you can beat Houston, you can beat all these other teams, but now you're going against where experience, coaching, and your players actually having that experience to know what to do in these crucial moments. And I think this is when it's going to be the unfortunate time where it show like, oh, y'all might not be ready. Like, y'all are ready, but it's like when you're facing actual talent that's meeting your skill set, we'll see where the struggles are. So
and that's a good point, Ev, because this is the last freshman show. Because everybody else has had a couple of teams, like the Arkansas teams, your Kentucky team, all of them are gone. All of your Houston, all of your freshmen showcases that are probably going to be soaking up the top 15 picks of this next NBA draft are pretty much done.
Yep.
So this is your last show. So I agree with you. I definitely think this is when experience is going to kick in. Playing a team like we just talked about with UConn, who's won 2 out of the 3 national championships in the past 3 years, this is going to be tough. This is going to be real tough.
And I think also coming off that last game, I do think momentum, even you're going against a different opponent, sure. But I do think momentum coming off the high of a game matters too. Yeah. And I think, even though we all laughing at the Bobby Hurd, like, this dude is crazy. He's a crazy genius.
Yeah.
And that moment, even though he did it unintentionally, even when he explained it, he was like, I thought the game was over. I didn't know. I was caught up. But that's going to mean something for every player on that roster. And it's going to be where, we got to go 100% balls to the wall. Let's do this. It's going to mean something for them. And that's, again, with that veteran leadership, with him as a coach, it's going to go there. And it might be a blowout. It might be if they lock in. It might be.
what I took away, I'm a piggyback right off of what you said, Ev. I'm gonna start with UCLA. I'm not sorry, Illinois and UConn. UConn has shown us two separate times that they're not scared of any number one school at all. Don't mean
Mhm.
nothing to them. You can list whatever star that you want to list. We're gonna go bar for bar with you on this team collective effort, right?
Mhm.
To win in the manner that they did and get the payoff for putting your heart on the line is just the perfect recipe for success in a style of tournament that March Madness is. So going into this next game and you telling me that with the type of coach that they have, only focusing on defense, that freshman sound good until we remix a boxing 1, 2, 3 man on you like on a repeated basis. That freshman sounds good until we say you have to put up 50 to beat us.
Yep.
Because we already have the scheme to stop everybody else that's going on. Either which way you will, we could shut you down and make the rest of them score in a position that they've never been in before, or we can allow you to be you and see if you really got the legs like that. And that's a lob over home plate, for UConn at this point. On the other side, I agree with everything that y'all have said about Michigan. I'm gonna put it to you this way: Michigan plays a Lindenborg touch the ball offense. If you can stop that, you might win. The odds of you stopping that doesn't really exist. He is the offense. There's no possession that they have where somebody else scores and he's on the court that he did not touch the ball. I don't know if you need to put 3 people on him, because if you get the other 2 big men in trouble, it does look different. That's one of the takeaways that still is true to them for me to this day. That's what the Duke game exposed. Unfortunately, on the other side, Arizona, why they've looked questionable at any point during their games is because they still play like a young team. They just think we're going to go in there and hoop, and that's going to get us through the game. And then in the second half, they have to play basketball to then widen the gap that they have, or catch up and then surpass them, which comes down to coaching. But you can't play like that at this point. You can't play like that against a team like Michigan that is, like y'all are saying, they're playing pro style ball, and the Spurs are a great comparison because it's a flow offense, but you know who it's flowing through. You don't want them to start getting comfortable and then getting defensive stops, and that's a benefit Arizona does have. Arizona can score. That's not a question that has been the issue. Arizona's big issues is letting people out hustle them, letting people even get comfortable with them in the first place. While Arizona's scoring, they're going down and scoring as well. So the defense looks a little bit lacking. For almost every first half, the defense looked lacking. Almost every first half, even for the games that they were up in. Now, what we don't know, this is probably low chance odds. We don't know what Michigan looks like if they have to play from behind. Arizona has the talent to get out on offense because I believe they have more scoring talent on the team, especially their starting 5, than what Michigan does. So if they're able to get out there and get them an 8 to 12 point and then just do their best to hold, which is asking a lot from them. That's easy on paper. That's probably their best chance scenario. I don't think they have the gumption to be down and have to fight back up and close a gap and then win the game. So I have Michigan there. For me in the finals, go ahead, Jamel.
I do disagree a little bit. Because Michigan does lead the tournament in assists, this tells me even without Lindenborg on the court, they still share the ball. When he's on the court, when he's off,
McKinney, Gale, Purdue,
we definitely need him on the court, but at the same time, we can play without him on the court. So if they did shut him down, the team passes the ball. Does he touch it when he's on it? Yeah, they want to give him an opportunity. He's the most talented person on offense, but they pass the ball. They spread it around. So if he gets in foul trouble, or if they are able to shut him down, I think Michigan would still think that they would win, not by as much, but I still think that they would win.
The worst thing that you can do as Arizona is double team Lindenborg.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the worst thing that you can do.
Because I'm not taking away the assist. What I'm more so looking at is there's a clear change when he's not on the court or he's affected on the court. The offense is still moving.
Yeah,
the offense and the scoring amount is significantly decreased. They're going to score. I'm not taking that away. But that's why I said it sounds easier said than done. If you can do something with him, you have a chance. But you really realistically.
Yeah, David made the point. Lindenborg is the clear number one. And so when the number one gets the ball, the attention is drawn there. You may be off ball, but your attention is still drawn there because you honestly know that at any point in time, he can get whatever he wants. He can shoot the three, he can drive to the lane, he can hit a mid-range. Like Lindenborg is literally the complete package. So even when he doesn't have the ball, you're still kind of focused on him because you're trying to figure out where he's going or where he's trying to sneak to get the ball.
There you go. And if we go off the Duke game that they played earlier this year, where Duke ended up being successful in the long run, especially having someone like Cam Boozer, and then they got Michigan in foul trouble, forced Michigan to play small ball, and Lindenborg hadn't been in a position yet to have to be more down in the paint on both ends of the court at that frequency. So now when you're going against a Cam Boozer, and that's all Cam does is shoulder to shoulder contact, it kind of wears you down. Arizona has bigs, not
like that. Not like that.
I'm not in the highest favor of Cam. They got more. They got more touch. I don't know. I'm not saying they're better than Cam Boozer. I will never say that. They have more down there that can create an issue than just Cam Boozer by himself. How about that?
True. But Cam was able to sit on the bench for 5 minutes because they still have a solid backup with Duke. So the only reason why I'm bringing that up is just to say Cam is legit. Like Cam is the legit package. You have to do what we talk about with Lindenborg with Cam. So that to me is even scarier because he can literally pick and choose what he wants. So Arizona's bigs are nowhere on that planet. Nowhere on that planet.
So I'm not mad at that. So Arizona would have to. Y'all got to get out on a run. That's the only. y'all got to get out on a run. Create a turnover.
According to ESPN, Michigan is slightly favored currently, 51.8% to 48.2%. So slightly.
Yeah.
Then Arizona has the explosive threat. That's the thing that's keeping them relevant in this type of conversation. If they get going. That's an offensive job because we saw what they did to Houston twice comfortably. And this is with Houston being ranked higher than them at one point and then spinning the block a few days later and put belt the ass even worse. Right? Now in the championship game, I have UConn, I have Michigan. I always love a basketball game of a high talent versus an intelligent coach. Always love this game. I will
tell you, all four of us picked UConn, right?
Yeah.
Nah, Ev said Illinois. He slid it in there.
He did. He kind of
think you on mute.
No, I said I want to wish for the upset, but I know for a fact that it's not going to happen.
That was your way to say Illinois. We heard.
Yeah, I want to ride. I want to ride with the home team, but I can't.
Well, Illinois is heavily favored. 58.9% to 41.1. So Illinois is heavily favored. Yes, over UConn.
Vegas trying to make some money.
Yeah, they're trying to fool people.
That's the thing. Gambling lines don't know coaching. They only go off of stats. They don't know coaching, bro.
Yeah, because
Hurley's been in this position. Hurley's been in this position a few times, and that's why I know David was going to his next point of like the championship game as far as coaching goes. Hurley's definitely the better of the two because he's been in that position. But like our coach has been great. The talk about like the second half adjustments. No team has been able to match us in the second half. None. Because every time we come back, we're a different team. We literally skated through the season with 1 or 2 losses. Like. We need to talk about the fact that like he's got a good run going, and I see the momentum that he's carrying going through this tournament. And if I think we smash heads with UConn, I still think we beat UConn.
And so with UConn, because I'm not mad at the take. I'm more interested in the matchup. I can easily make an argument for both teams, and they're going to be
for
different.
sure. No, and I could too.
Yeah, and with UConn has that Tyson Fury moment right now. I've seen your hardest punch.
Yeah,
right? I play tougher competition than you have.
Right.
I'm not saying that the competition I've seen is better than you, but I've consistently seen tougher competition than you in this pathway getting to here, right? What do they say? Don't talk about who beat me till you beat me. Well, I beat the guy that beat you, and I haven't talked about you yet.
Right.
Based on the ring work, I have an idea. We're even looking at what talent that they've turned over. Stephen Castle wasn't supposed to be Stephen Castle until he went to UConn, and then he went up in the Spurs system, and now he's a highly coveted. They create pros. UConn is the home of some of the greatest role players that are designed for the league. If you have accepted as a man, I'm not going to be a star, but I do want to play in the league. You try to get to UConn because they will turn you into everything that the Spurs dynasty has produced. Tim Duncan,
great take. That's a great take.
Everybody else.
I like that.
Everybody else. You want to be Boris DL? Go to UConn. If you want to be a slightly weaker Manu Ginobili, go to UConn. You want to be Steve Smith, Antonio Daniels. We can go down the list. You want to get a revamp, Steven Jackson, and go on a podcast career because you're only basing it off that one ring you got, Steven Jackson, on the team where you make it seem like you're bigger than what you were, but Tim Duncan was still right there. Go to UConn. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But UConn got the talent. I don't know. I see that game as we have to make a call. So I'm going with you. I'm going with Michigan. But I'm excited for that game. This is just assuming that Illinois doesn't pull off the freak upset. But
the post was Reed. Is that his name for UConn? The big man, real agile.
Yes.
Yes. Oh man, crazy. He's a crazy pro. He's a crazy pro right now. So the fact that he's still got 2 more games to prove, who he can be and all that going into the draft. Again, another top 15 pick that we're looking at right now. He's great. I just think as a collective, we have more to give than UConn. I think Hurley has a great chance at making this, exciting, and I hope it is. I don't want to see a blowout, but I do want to see a good enough cushion lead to where I ain't going to have no panic attack. I would love that. A good 7-8 points, last couple of minutes. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. The thing we really need to talk about and just touch on real quick, we have to give him his flowers for the game that they beat Duke. That is one of the greatest basketball games that we have ever seen, period. You had no business coming back to win that game. And then in a fashion that you won the game in, with it being a logo 3-pointer with a freshman that went 1 for 5 the entire game, and he still had the goal to let it fly because you put him in a position to where he still felt like he could do it. Again, that goes back to what everybody's been talking about, and that's coaching. If a coach gives you that type of confidence that, hey, I know you haven't been hitting all game. If you catch that ball, let it fly. I didn't recruit you for nothing. You look 15. I don't care. Let it fly, fam.
I didn't recruit you for nothing.
And I felt bad for Caden because if you've played basketball before, you know what that looks like. You've made that mistake before in some fashion, right? You saw 2 wide open teammates and you said, all I got to do is get the ball to them. You didn't make the right play in that position, and that's not your fault. I get it. You should have just held on to the ball. You wouldn't have got a backcourt violation. You wouldn't have got a shot clock was off. You literally just needed to hang on to the ball. I'm mad at Cam for letting the ball go because he should have just held on to it to just get fouled so he could go knock down some free throws and put the game out of reach. It just killed me to know that everybody was on his head all week talking about, he shouldn't have made the pass. Bro, the team never should have been in the game to begin with. That play is pivotal in that moment, but they never should have even been there in the conversation.
It didn't come down to him. It really didn't. And the thing about it too, even with the pass, it wasn't if the pass got stolen, but he didn't just lazily throw it. He threw it underestimating the length of their arms because four arms went up. Right. And when they went up, even as you watch it in slow-mo, it's like, dog, like they just keep rising, you know?
Yeah.
I do want to we should give them their credit, yes. I also want to talk about how Duke and UNC don't strike fear. UNC's its own problem, right? They need to figure out their coaching. They have fallen. To me, they've fallen from blue chip level. Duke, on the other hand, the reason why I look at UConn the way that I do is because of this game like that. Duke has had the Jason Tatums, the Zion Williamsons, the Paolo Bancheros, the Boozer twins. They've had Marvin Bagley before he became the pro Marvin Bagley that we know. They've had Derek Lively, Jahlil Okafor. And that don't mean nothing every time people keep running into them in the tournament. It sounds good, but you can almost guarantee every single time. We always know there's going to be one of the two. Either if Duke loses early, UNC will make it to the Elite Eight. If UNC loses early, it's Duke's turn. And then somewhere in the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, one of them two is going to and fumble the bag just like they just did, man. We know this. Even if they made it to the Final Four, we don't believe in them no more. And you give teams like UConn that confidence of, I've seen monsters before. I've seen your monster. So now, again, the same reference, Stephon Castle goes to the league. What does this mean to me? Nothing, man. So Lindenberg.
Neither one of these teams are ready to have the conversation of when these kids decided to start being one and done, your program suffered.
Yup.
Because every time you had those kids that were there 2-3 years, you got your JJ Reddicks, you got your Marvin Williams, you've got all these players that were there. Very rarely did you have a one and done player. And then once it became a thing of being one and done, your program suffered, sir. Both.
And you know what it is? Quiet as kept, especially for Duke. Y'all have been riding this success wave of those prep school kids. At the other schools is getting them. I played in regular high school basketball. I'm with the smoke kids, right? And that's partially because, to Duke's credit, I'm sure you have. Same with UNC, you probably have certain academic standards that are higher than many other schools, right? And you pulling the Dabo Sweeney. Some in them Carolina waters that don't get coaches to understand it's you. It's you, bro. Figure it out, man.
To Duke's credit, they haven't looked bad. Like, they make it to the tournament. Their record is always great. They still win their conference. North Carolina's different, dude. Like, they they still win, but they look bad doing it. They don't have that 30-3 record, that undefeated record. They don't have that anymore. They just, and I rooted for Hubert Davis. I root for any black coach. I'm like my girl at the Oscars. Who you rooting for this year? Everybody black. That's me. All right. I root for Hubert Davis. And I don't like North Carolina, but I root for him. And I feel really bad. I don't know if it's Coach K was on the verge of figuring out the NIL and players moving around. But before he did, he was like, look, man, I'm a punch. Some coaches haven't figured that part out, because that's an added piece now that you've got to work through, the NIL. And you can be a great recruiter. That's great. You go to someone's home. But the NIL, like Dabo Sweeney, that's why Clemson isn't doing as well. He didn't embrace NIL. It's a part of change, and you have to embrace it. And I think North Carolina's had a problem getting those top-tier NIL players to come there.
I think a bunch of the younger kids don't look at North Carolina the way that some of us may, because they didn't get to see that success.
Well, you said they're not a blue blood.
Kind of like, yeah, exactly. So they're just looking at it like you're just another, drop in the bucket. I can go over here and get another $500,000. Like, I don't really. That's why I'm just like, ever since we've gotten to that point, they just haven't been there. Whether we want to talk about it or not, Calipari, I think he's a great coach. There's a reason why he has to drop schools and go somewhere else, because that brown paper bag he was handing over to them before the NIL deal started happening was heavy. So
Which-
Kentucky was looking real good. You know what I'm saying?
And now that you reminded me, Calipari and Rick Pitino have both shown it's them. Because they to this tournament, to get the teams where they are and still remain the household names that they are, St. John's should not have made it this far, bro.
No.
St. John's had no business, and they didn't go out easily. They didn't hold. So
People were calling them the dark horse to take the whole
man.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Took St. John's and went and saw the blue chip, got him out of there. Right?
I
Just
hadn't
like a
heard
good
anything
old-
Arkansas since John Chaney, but look at them now.
Come on.
The last time I heard about Arkansas was because they had hired Avery Johnson from the Dallas Mavericks, and that was like a moment. That was like a
First of all,
blip in the
I remember
time.
that.
It was.
That's not
Yeah.
even real. You know why? Because it was Alabama that hired Avery Johnson.
Was it Alabama?
It was Alabama.
Oh shit!
Oh, see, it doesn't even matter.
Damn, you're right.
It
You
was one
haven't
them
heard of
A schools.
Arkansas.
Look, they both burgundy, they both red. You know, like one of them A schools.
I understand, Eddie. I understand.
You know, so to your point, you haven't heard of Arkansas. It didn't exist.
Facts.
Last time you heard of Arkansas was when Scottie Pippen told you he's from there. That was the last time you heard of Arkansas, bro. Look, so between him bringing Arkansas to where he did, St. John's got Kansas out of there and then almost beat Duke. Patino and Rick Pitino, and they both of them, Calipari, man. Hey, y'all's doing y'all's thing. Y'all's doing y'all's thing, man. Shout out to them. Anything else for college basketball?
I just want to say to Jamil's point about NIL, Nick Saban and Duke's former coach, Coach K. Yes, because I was trying to say his whole fucking name.
Yeah.
Y'all not slick. Y'all got out because of NIL. Y'all got out because of NIL specifically. And that's the whole point that I was trying to say is I was about to get into is that those older coaches, they don't want to adapt into this because it's now an even playing field.
That's right.
Like, and it's kind of crazy when you think about it, because that was something I always realized that's why a lot of these coaches don't want to go to the pros, is that control factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like that control factor over those kids of, hey, I'm gonna hand you a bag of money, but you're gonna do every fucking thing I say on this court and produce to give me wins. And now when it being an even playing field, you've restored the power back to the child and the player of I'm going where the bag at.
Yeah.
And
I'm not even mad at them for that though.
Yeah.
Because if I work 30 years and my name holds weight when I come to your house and I say, I'm Coach K, I'm pulling up, and all I got to do is put the paper in front of you and you sign it, and that's my like go-to, I love that. But then I got to sit here and argue with who VCU's coach? Like,
it's a crazy thing though. That's what people don't really like competition as much as they used to.
Especially when you're at the top like that. I got to argue with VC. It's between me and VC. Go to VCU. I don't care. And they start getting, the pride kicks in and everything else. Oh yeah, I get it. I totally get that.
To add to y'all's point, part of the control thing that got taken away from the internet and crackdowns too. Them campus visits that y'all used to be able to get away with, they don't look the same no more. They don't look the same no more.
Tino used to throw a party, baby.
Choose them all.
Listen, everybody got love. Yeah.
Here's a bag. Here's a new whip. Because they just rolled them off the lot. What's the year? We got about 10, 11, 2027s for you right there.
Listen, forgive me, Dad. My pops cracks a joke to me every couple of weeks when he's watching college basketball, and he goes, I'm so mad you didn't get recruited to Louisville. He's obviously kidding because he's talking about Rick Pitino, but he was like, man, they used to throw some parties over there.
They used to throw parties, man. Yeah, man. So now that crackdown is like, dang, man, everybody got potential on campus.
Man.
That's tough.
Man, everybody was getting love.
Man, well, we could go ahead. We can shift talks. We shift talks to the NBA. I'm gonna start here, man. Is the Pat Bev Dwayne Wade conversation worth it? Y'all let me know.
No.
Okay.
Not coming from Pat.
Yeah. Especially when you know where it's coming from in his heart. It's not even genuine.
Is
I'd give
Dwayne
Paul Pierce the energy again if he popped off again, but for Pat Beverly, I'm sorry.
is the Dwayne Wade James Harden conversation worth having?
That's a real conversation.
It's a real conversation. Okay, we got one for real conversation.
I would say, yeah, I say it is a real conversation.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm with like Ev said. Like Dwayne is his favorite player. Like Dwayne was better than James. That part of the conversation, I don't feel is tough, but I feel like as two really top shooting guards, you can
having
have
them in there. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people have it like it's an open and shut case where no.
I think okay, so it looks like we have a combo because I think Jamel and I might be on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said. That's why I said I think we can have the conversation. I think where you people will stand is either on one side or the other. I don't think there'll be like, hey, listen.
What do you mean?
Listen. What do you mean? You mean you people?
Oh
yeah.
You know,
go ahead.
I think James Harden was a better regular season player. I mean, the stats prove it. Dwayne Wade stepped his game up in the playoffs. But, and again, I'm not just a stats guy. I do know Dwayne Wade won a championship when he shouldn't have. That first one, they beat Dallas. He shouldn't have got that one. He shouldn't have. But he did it because he stepped his game up. James Harden shrinks in the playoffs. If we're just looking at skill set, James Harden is better. James Harden is better. Just looking at skill set. If we're looking at heart, if we're looking at intellect, if we're looking at athleticism, it's Dwayne Wade. It's Dwayne Wade. But what really separates them for me, it's playoffs, because that means a lot to me. I love stats. I love big numbers. That's great.
That means everything.
What do you do in the playoffs when it matters? And
that means everything.
Yes, and James Harden shrinks in the playoffs. He shrinks. I don't think he's ever with OKC, with Houston, with the Clippers. I don't think he's ever had a good playoff game. Not a series, but a standout game. Like we can all name a standout game for KD, for LeBron, for Steph Curry. We can name that game. Like, yo, remember that game? And everyone will be like, yeah, I remember that. Can you name one for James Harden?
Every game that you're gonna name from James will be a low light.
Yes,
every game. Over 27 game. The only highlight game you will probably mention is the game when he was on the bench when they came back.
But Dwayne Wade, and immediately I go to that series, not just the game, but the series against Dallas on the biggest stage. It wasn't just the playoffs; it was the finals. And dude, he took over. Yeah, it was like nothing. I can't say nothing I've never seen before because Jordan's my favorite player, and I watched him play. But it was, I mean, we're talking about a top 10 performance. It is almost like LeBron beating Golden State that year because it was LeBron. It wasn't the Cavaliers who did it. Yeah, it was Dwayne Wade. It wasn't the Heat who did it. It was Dwayne Wade who beat Dallas. So regular season, I want James Harden's career. In the playoffs, I want Dwayne Wade's career.
Jamel, you asked me this yesterday, and I think it's a fair question. Is it fair to label James Harden as a shooting guard? Because we know once he got to OKC, he's essentially played point. Even when Chris Paul came, he said, we'll both play point all the way through Brooklyn to Philly to the Clippers. So should we even be happy? Yeah, to now. Should we be having this conversation as if he's a shooting guard?
You don't want to put him at point guard because then he's really not a part of a conversation.
Which like is, I think, and so that's why I might be on the side that I'm on. Is like, is this just for a saving grace? Because to me, the shooting guards is pretty clear. It rings or not, for all the offense he has, you can also put Dwayne Wade in every defensive category for him. So the threes that Dwayne Wade couldn't shoot, he could still go guard one of your best players on the other side. And then again, now carry that through the playoffs. Okay, so when we get into the conversation, we know 1 and 2 is solidified for shooting guards. So we're only having this because 1 and 2 have such a clear separation with Jordan and Kobe, and then now you get to Dwayne Wade, and now you got 2 rings with defense, and you could score. 3-pointers weren't necessary during that time, but I know James Harden is Carmelo Anthony. You're easily top 5, if not top 3, greatest offensive talents we've ever seen. Your scoring capability is undeniable, right?
We do step backs more because of James Harden
because
than
of you. Like you elevated the Euro step that Ginobili introduced. You gave us what we thought was a travel. They created a whole new rule or took away because of
and keep continuing.
You feel me?
Push,
like,
yeah.
The leaps that they take after that push off 2 steps, Shy is getting ridiculed religiously because he's just essentially doing the move you created for the 3-point shot. Got you. And that got us what? Especially once we start getting to if you're only going stats, to me, I feel like that's the only time it's a conversation. If you're only going stats, he's been an MVP for sure. Yes, but then give me all those game 7s. That's your highlight. Them game 7s in Philly. They tried to put it on Embiid. You just got to be under the radar. You only scored 9 points. And that's a theme for him. Consistently under the radar. It was either you were hurt or it was Chris Paul's fault. It was Westbrook's fault. The Thunder lose in the finals. You disappeared during that series. Remember, we caught on to James Harden during the Spurs series beforehand. You go into the finals and you were ghost, but you don't have to take that ridicule because KD and Russell are there. Brooklyn, they blame it. There you go. Brooklyn, they blame it all on KD. Like KD didn't put his heart out there in Brooklyn. He is getting listed as a failed team like you weren't there. Before they even remember you were there, they bring up Kyrie and how he didn't play. But you were on that team, James. You were there too. So every team that you went to until the Clippers are the only ones where he didn't necessarily have to take that brunt because he got traded midseason last year and he got traded again midseason this year. So he never has to take the responsibility. So now it looks like, oh, it's a close conversation. It's like, nah, you didn't even face the ridicule that 1 through 3 faced. You didn't even face Iverson's ridicule as shooting guard. You were never the star. So then how do you get to be in the conversation for the greatest of that position is where I'm looking at it.
He was a star with certain teams. Like you said,
he was a superstar. No, he was a superstar with certain teams.
He was an MVP.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you're pointing out certain games, and I agree 100% because I always go back to that series where they were favored against Golden State. And in that one game, they shot what? 0 for 27, 3 for 31, some crazy number for 3. And they lost. And that was his chance because Chris Paul wasn't there. But Kevin Durant wasn't with Golden State and Steph was injured. That was his chance to take over right then. I'm the man. And I don't know how much he had. I think he had as many points as he had turnovers. Like it was horrible.
I think the year before.
There's no highlights. It's just lowlights.
The year before was his chance. The game 7 against the Spurs when Manu blocked his shot. The year before was his chance. You had the Spurs reeling, the dynasty reeling, and you fumbled. You were there for all of this. That's what I more so mean. Yes, he's a superstar. What I'm saying is you haven't been the star because you take none of the blame. The stars take the blame. The main guy takes the blame. Even when you're the best player on the team, you never take the best player ridicule outside of that one commentator that appears to not have been right or not have been wrong about you. That one white dude that went on that rant about Harden. Like, don't tell me we having a conversation about best 2 shooting guards when one has a fat suit and one doesn't.
I'm put this way. When Kobe retired, he was talking to Rachel Nichols with T-Mac, and he said it blatantly. That's not a winning style of basketball. That you won't win it. He said that in 2017. And he also said it then. He said that you'd have to do what you have to do to get your team across the finish line in the regular season. But that's not conductive winning basketball. He ain't been wrong 9 years later.
Okay. Fair enough. We ended up
that's one of those things, and that's one of them situations where Jordan's not even gonna give that conversation airtime.
Nope.
So you got number 2 telling you back then. There's some credence that should be mentioned in that. Like when he says it then, that's a real thing of that's not winning basketball. The man you just saw who won 5 times and was the next man that won it 6 times. You know, it's some.
He should get the same ridicule Russell Westbrook gets.
He should,
for sure.
But
That's
Russ,
what I mean by that. It's not even. I don't know how you just skated by. You didn't
He
get the
should get
ridicule
more.
Allen Iverson
He should
got.
get more.
He should
Yeah,
get
he should
That's
get
what
more.
that's what I'm
but
saying.
we know why Russ gets more ridicule. His game is ugly. It's strictly based off athleticism. That's all of it.
I
Never
don't
a
have
consistent
him.
jumper. He was a turnover machine. Yeah, he averaged a triple-double, but like I said, his teammates would back up and let him get rebounds. Like, again, super athletic. Arguably the most athletic point guard we've ever seen. Him and Derrick Rose, maybe Ja Morant, they're all in that same little bubble. But Russ's game is just ugly. And you can see one thing about hyper-athletic people, once they start losing athleticism and they don't have any skill sets, the game degrades really quickly. James Harden's game hasn't degraded because he could always shoot. He could always dribble. Russ was first step and I'm gone. I'm dunking on him. Now, he can't get it on that first step. Now, he can't just dunk on people like he used to. So I think that's why we look at Russ and we're like, all right, especially that run with the Lakers was just, it was so bad for him. And he's a Hall of Famer, but we look at him like, man, that is not good. And that's why we get on him so much. Whereas we see James Harden still doing that step back, shooting threes, still with them handles, getting to the hole. We're like,
I'm sorry, not Westbrook.
He's all right.
Harden is a shooting guard in the same way that Allen Iverson was a point guard.
Actually, I agree. I'll agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. You're not really a point guard. We know what you are, AI, and you're not a shooting guard, James Harden. You are a point guard. You just get the shooting guard accolades because if we put you in the category you're supposed to be in, you're not in the conversation. And I'm saying that very respectfully with AI because AI's respect that he got on the court, they just looked at him as Chuck that could ball. Chuck should be, if we were going true shooting guards, you'd be hard pressed to really have me put James Harden over Allen Iverson in a genuine conversation. You'd be hard pressed. That's why I was like, I didn't even realize that Dwayne Wade
next to him.
That's what I'm saying.
Still getting busy.
So and so in that essence,
like, come on, get real.
And that's why I was saying it's like,
Ratcliffe was their center.
Come on, bro.
Come on, man.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying it's like, I don't understand how Dwayne Wade and James Harden, the conversation, you didn't get past AI to me.
AI took Eric Snow, McKee, Lynch, Ratliff, and Dikembe Mutombo to the finals and stole game one. I don't want to hear jack about AI and Harden, bro.
Nothing, bro.
So we say that it benefits him to be listed as a shooting guard. If he were a point guard, where would he stack up? Would he be top 10?
He's not top 5.
He would be nowhere near that. And again, because he's never won a championship ring, that's still a part of that factor for him.
So John Stockton's got to be
John Stockton's in that conversation, and Chris Paul. John Stockton and Chris Paul both have to be in that conversation.
Well, just in the same way.
But you got to think about the top three though. The top three is already
shooting guard,
and that's what I'm thinking about. So top 10, you may be right, but
no, he may not. He may not be top 10. I'm just saying you can't make it without a ring. But top 10. Could we fire off 10? Point guard?
I think we can. I think we can.
Magic.
Isaiah.
Hold on, I'm Johnny. Magic. Steph. Who else?
Isaiah.
I said Isaiah.
All right.
Stockton.
Thomas, Stockton.
Chris Paul.
Absolutely.
Jason Kidd.
Absolutely.
Jason Kidd.
Tony Parker.
Is he better? Nah, I don't think Tony up there. Steve?
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Can I put Lynn Sanity on here?
I might be able to put together a presentation for y'all for Tony Parker being better as a point guard.
Actually, Tony Parker, I could understand because you know what? Me and the homies were just having the argument of Steve Nash and Tony Parker. When you put them stat by stats.
And so
it's
actually close.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
It gets
I'm gonna say Tony. I'm gonna say Tony
because the reason why I said and no argument, I'm with Ev on this one because it's just when you look at them as point guards.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the point guard position. How I look at Chris Paul, Isaiah. I'm looking at that realm. Steph is on another planet. Steph is literally on another planet, and then you have Magic Johnson and the rest of these guys that fall behind. So, in my opinion,
slow down.
I would say Magic's on another planet too.
Y'all about to start.
Magic's on another planet too.
Yeah,
are we really about to do
Magic.
this?
I'm
Magic is on another.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna give Magic his respect. Magic's on another planet as well.
Don't get
Thank you.
distracted.
No, I agree.
Don't get distracted by this. We flaming Harden. We flaming Harden. Don't get distracted.
No.
I apologize,
let me say my
Michigan
piece.
brother. Go ahead.
Let me see my piece. Especially because he's a Michigan guy, right? Like I'm just gonna say, Magic is definitely on a different planet than the rest of the guys that were listed outside of Steph. Steph, to me, is the greatest point guard of all time,
and I'm not mad at that. I'm with you.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not
sure
grouping
that you say Magic on a different planet too, though. That's just
yeah. No, I'm not being like Tony Parker and Magic Johnson. Like I'm not doing that. No.
Oscar Robinson.
Yes.
Oscar Robinson.
Are we going with him as a point or a small forward? Because he played both. Well, technically, he played the first three positions: point, two, and small forward.
Yeah, but he's known as a point guard.
Yeah, because in that same essence, I would have Jerry West. So if we put Oscar Robinson as a point guard, I have Jerry West as a point guard.
But Jerry West is more of a two guard, man.
He was a point guard.
James. Come on, we can't use the logo. That's like me saying Pete Marinovich. I mean, he's more of a two guard, even though he led his team in assists. He was a pass.
Pistol?
Yes. Maravich. I don't know why I call him
Maravich.
Yeah.
So what are we at?
I'm at 8 right now. We have Magic, Steph, Isaiah, Stockton, Paul, Kidd, Nash, Oscar, the Big O. Are we putting Jerry West on there? Are we putting Bob Cousy on there?
You know what? Derek Fisher. Just round it out so we can just be done with this conversation.
If he is a point guard in an honest conversation, especially if we're just going off the stats, if he's listed as a point guard, is he a higher ranking point guard than Russell Westbrook?
I'm gonna have to.
I didn't put Westbrook on here yet.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm gonna say
if he's not higher than Westbrook, then we shouldn't be having this conversation.
Which Harden as a point guard.
Okay,
and I'm gonna be realistic. We got to start giving some dudes that's current players credit. I'm putting SGA before I get to Harden because he already he just need. I'm sorry, I'm gonna do. If we gonna talk all time rankings and we putting playing skill set and winning involved, we got to go and start the SGA train. If we're gonna say Harden's a point guard, if we're gonna say Harden's a point guard, go and start that train.
Harden's body of work, I can't allow myself to give SGA the nod just yet. I think, like you said, let's start the train so we can have this conversation early. But his body of work, I don't know if I can give it to SGA just yet.
Finals MVP,
I hear you.
Is he a point guard?
But that's why I said if he's a point guard, because this is the thing too. If he's a point guard, guess what? Luka.
He runs point guard on his team. He is the point guard by position on his team. Is he a point guard?
Yeah, no. I would say SGA is a point guard. He's
it's difficult because this is the era of positionless basketball.
He's a combo guard.
He's able to play anywhere. Yeah.
Like that's why I say SGA is a combo guard the same way Steph, D Rose were, and Ja.
I love these conversations.
Because I'm not mad at that take.
Honestly, James Harden is a combo guard, but I think everyone goes into shooting guard because that's what you came in as. And that's what you were known as until you became, I'm going to go get you 11 assists.
Okay, because we don't
You just naturally, like, honestly, hold on, Ray. Listen, and with Harden's case, which makes it so tricky, they didn't play you as point guard. You just naturally started doing it. And then you played you became the position. So I think that's
not your fault.
Like for Harden, it's not his fault. Like I think that's why he still has to be put in that shooting guard conversation. For shits and giggles, let's have a point guard conversation because then you're not getting talked about at all. Like you said,
James Harden is 12th all time in assists, all time. If he plays, as a matter of fact, not next year, this year, he still has a chance to. The season's almost over. So by next year, he's going to pass Gary Payton.
Gary.
Another name. I know we were disrespecting some people because we definitely hadn't named them all yet.
Well,
but
we didn't have a time to study
one
either.
that you definitely gonna put over Harden if we're talking point guard.
He's a little bit over 100 behind Gary Payton. And
I mean, wouldn't Gary just be point guard Dwayne Wade? in this conversation.
Dwayne Wade's better though.
Ooh,
But no, I'm saying when you talking about this Dwayne Wade, James Harden conversation, once you get
that's
to
a hot
Gary,
take.
ain't that the end of like? Could we talking about?
Nah, he's
Dwayne
not.
Wade was a
He's
defensive
not
guard.
off.
He did put
No,
he
that's a
wasn't
good
scorer.
take.
Ain't
That's a
he
good
just
take.
point guard D Wade in this realm?
Yeah, because Dwayne Wade coming into the league was not known as an offensive threat. He developed into one, but coming out of Marquette, he wasn't listed as this high. I'm not mad at that. But,
Young Gary used to just take you to the paint.
you know?
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gonna run through two because I know Abe, you got to roll. All right, Luka got hurt. MVP, since MVP is essentially. There's been a lot of narratives and there's a lot of upsetness, and then oddly enough, the person that they were trying to argue for does go down last night. Lakers representative, how you feeling? Is the title shot over? He's
not out. It's not like he's out. We still got a good number of games left for the rest of the season. There's a chance we lose him for a few and we get him back towards the end, and we can contain. If we can keep the same momentum that we've had over the last month or two, I think we'll be okay.
So, Wemby, he had 41 points, 18 rebounds, and 3 blocks in 29 minutes.
Sound like a 2K.
Dude already had a double-double in the first quarter. Wemby has put up back-to-back 40-plus point, 15-plus rebound games. He is consistently leading his team in one area or another. Dude is a quadruple threat every time he steps on the court. And consider, Luka plays no defense.
Yeah.
Luka got in good shape, real good shape, to not play defense. All right. Wemby plays defense.
And defense does
DPOY. Defensive
Easily.
Player of the Year.
MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He can win them both. Wemby is dominant. We've seen players like Luka before. We've never seen
We're not ready yet. We're not ready yet to give him multiple trophies in a year.
We've never seen anything like Wemby.
I don't know if it's not ready
the
yet.
old man.
Well, you know what, Abe? Actually, you know what, Abe? I agree with you with not ready yet, because that was something I was just thinking about is if you give it to him now and he's only getting better, you're going to run into that LeBron James situation where you're going to have to give it to somebody else because of voter fatigue.
Take that knife on my back, Ev.
I'm gonna put it back. But no, I do, and I do hate that. But it's just the reality. Like, Wemby, if he can play the 65 games every year, he's going to fulfill all the dreams and aspirations that people were talking about.
He should be punished.
But I'm saying that's what they're going to run into. They're going to run into the voter fatigue issue.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, but
think about
right
this.
Now
There was the run when LeBron James during that first, I'll say in 2010, for about when he was the greatest player in the league, and they were saying he should have won MVP every year. Did he? No. You got Steph winning MVP when he was scoring averaging 25 and 7. Which again, people were looking at it like you only averaged 25 and 7. That was the first. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, he was averaging 23 and 6. I'm thinking about D Rose's MVP season. My bad. He averaged 23 and 6 and he won MVP. That looks crazy when you're saying LeBron James was out here averaging 28, 8, and 8. Wemby, if you average 30, if you average 28, 12, and 3 blocks every year, yeah, you should win it. But niggas ain't gonna want to see you win it because you 7'4".
The
league has consistently been terrible about the MVP.
Yeah.
When there was a stretch of time whenever they said, hey, if you're the best player on the best team, you get the MVP automatically.
Mm-hmm.
We remember that era. Then they went to we're going to give it to the best player, which
Russell
is Russell Westbrook's there you go, where it came in, and then we started handing the trophy out. Then they got to a point where they were getting fatigue of giving the trophy away to everybody. We've seen this happen with Jokic. We've seen this happen with LeBron. We're seeing this happen in real time right now with SGA. SGA should still be in the conversation, but they like to push him off to the side because they already gave him one.
Yeah.
So there have been players in the league that didn't get one that deserved one, or they should have had multiple and maybe ran away with one. We're not going to sit here and not talk about how Kobe only has one MVP. So, the league has historically gotten this wrong.
Look,
Jokic
Jordan
is averaging a triple-double as we speak right now.
Jokic-
He's
You don't
not
talk
even
about the
mentioned
fake
in the
assist.
conversation.
worried about this. Jokic shouldn't even be worried about this. This should be in his backyard right now.
That's true, too.
But they're not going to
Yeah.
give it to him.
Prime Jordan should have won I don't know how many MVPs. And they gave Karl Malone one, they gave Chuck one.
They have historically
I get
not
it.
been
It happens.
strong.
It happens. But we are not the league. We are fair and honest. All right.
Oh
And
no.
if we are fair and honest,
Our
all right?
opinion doesn't matter if we're not voting on the MVP trophy. Our opinion
Let me put my
doesn't-
You'll
Thanos
know.
glove on, all right?
You'll know.
Snap y'all Negroes away. All right. Wemby is going to get it this year. I'm telling you, it's Wemby.
I hope
If-
so.
He's going to be the face of the league. I'm telling you. I want it to be Ant-Man, but it's going to be Wemby. And they have the same mentality. That makes it that much better.
Well,
I
Ant-Man
might
will just
have-
be Robin to his Batman. But yeah.
Ooh, yeah. You're not wrong.
Mr.
I might
Ed, what is this?
I might have Wemby just for the fact that you up for 2 awards. You can't tell me that you're a better, most valuable player if you are scared to shoot 3-pointers when I'm just walking around, and then I go down and I shoot a 3-pointer because you can't do nothing about it. Yeah.
The NBA's changed, man. I mean, centers shoot threes now. Wemby, Jokic, Embiid. Like, everyone's a stretch. There's no more stretch for everybody stretch. Pause.
Fair enough.
I said
Okay.
pause right. But you get what I'm saying, though. You know?
Okay, so before we end it out, just round the table. We know we do the predictions every week. Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference, who you got in the champion? Has it changed? Ev, this will be your first time doing it. So far, for the most part, I think all of us were in agreement of Detroit, Boston, and the Eastern Conference. We've had some back and forth for the West.
I
You
said
New
the
York.
Knicks, but that just depends on where they match up. Because if they have to play each other early, then it's Detroit and Boston. If they play each other late, it'll be New York and Boston.
Okay, so
The West, we've been pretty unanimous with OKC and San Antonio.
Okay, so I agree. So for me,
You
for
said the
East,
Lakers last week. You're a liar.
So,
said the Lakers.
for the East, honestly, I think it's gonna be Boston and New York. Detroit, I want to root for Detroit so damn bad. I just don't think this year,
Without Cade.
especially with him coming back from a collapsed lung, when he comes back, I don't think this year is the year. Give me another year, and then I'm hell bent on Cade Cunningham being the new superstar of the league, the number one superstar. Give me another year. But I do agree, it's SGA versus Wemby. We got that in the Western, and
I haven't changed my Eastern Conference. It's still Boston and Detroit because I don't have faith in Cleveland. Western Conference, it's going to be OKC and San Antonio, but I'm looking at it for the championship. I have OKC now because for whatever reason, Lou Dort is at the scene of a lot of injuries. He's always at the scene of the crime. And if he continues to play the way that he's playing, there's more than likely somebody else that's going to be taken out in this time frame. So back-to-back championship runs, you don't play Lou Dort for a 7-game series and not walk away with potential ligament damage based on what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same thing. It's Boston and Detroit and OKC and San Antonio. I haven't changed.
Fair
I
enough.
have no faith in Cleveland. I have no faith in New York. And I have no faith in the Bulls.
That didn't need to be said.
yeah,
Well,
nobody
y'all
does.
y'all know where to find us: YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. We appreciate all the comments, man. For y'all, man. I plan on putting this out tonight before the games get started. I think I can make that happen. You know, this might be the last episode y'all see. Abe took a day off. He never takes days off, bro. This might be the last. We don't know what's about to happen. The apocalypse is now. Abe took a day off, man. The sun's still up, and he not working. Hey, this been Keep It Clean Show, man. We appreciate y'all.
And every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.